Hello and welcome back to Redirecting. Now what I'm doing is I'm just kind of showing you what it looks like here at the edge of the woods. I haven't ventured too far into there yet. My family has, but not I. I'm not quite ready for that yet, but this is one area where we have the woods, and I see a whole lot going on up in there. I can see a lot of things need to be cleared out. Just going to kind of walk around a little bit here. But I do want to venture off in there one day. I was tempted to. My husband said he would take my hand and we can go in, but I kind of chickened out at the last minute. But there are some things up in there that I'm interested in. They said there's a lot of stones up in there, stepping stones and things that were just kind of put in there, I guess, by the previous owners. We just kind of threw them back up in there, and I could use them in my landscaping. A lot of this stuff needs to be cleared out, though, before it seems like it's more access on the other side over there than it is here. Just a lot of other stuff going on over here. It's rare that I come over this way because this is where other little creatures hang out, like snakes and things. If I have to, though, I can run pretty fast. I remember we did come back here when we first got this place, and there were some branches coming up out the ground that were very, very strong and sturdy, and I could tell that you can use them for crafts. And so we did just that, actually. Not sure what type of plant or branch it is, but it's very, very strong, to the point where the kids were actually able to make some little fences out of it. There's other things up in here too. We did find some, what do you call it, red sumac. We found some, what are those called? Passion fruit. There's a lot of passion fruit growing over in this area. You could actually see it on the outer edges when they were growing. Of course, you can't see it now because it's all died back, but there's a lot of passion fruit in this area. I hear something back behind me. I know it's probably just a little bitty animal, something like a rabbit or something, so I don't need to scurry about in fear. I remember one time, years ago, when we had that other land, there was a rabbit that just went across my path kind of unexpectedly, and he was trying to get away from me, and I was trying to get away from him. When I realized it was a rabbit, I said, man, I didn't have to go through all of this trying to get away from a rabbit, because as I turned, I actually hit the ground trying to get away from that thing. And so I said, I just need to calm down. Usually animals and wildlife try to get away from you. They're not trying to get to you. This is one part that my husband used to cut, so that's the only reason why I'm over here. He used to cut so we can get access to this back part back here, but I'm not going too far by myself. Just wanted to take this little walk and peer down into the woods and see what's going on over in there. I think as we cut some of the stuff down going in, it'll be easier for me to walk up in there, put some boots on, and take me something in my hand, like a stick, you know, something like that. Make it a lot easier for me to want to venture into there. Just imagine what our ancestors went through. This is what I always think about when I see the woods, how our ancestors who were trying to escape slavery, I would think of them and how they had to go through all of this type of rough terrain. Whatever the conditions were, whatever they met in those woods, they had to deal with it. And so for me, it's not just trees and fallen branches. But this is what our ancestors had to deal with. Many, many times, I'm sure they had to lay and take a nap or take a rest in these woods. And we don't consider those things as we go about our lives. And we complain and we wonder. They had no choice. They had no choice whatsoever. This is what they had to deal with. Going all up in there and trying to figure things out and finding food if they could, trying to find drink, a place to lay their heads. I'm sure they encountered snakes and spiders and other wildlife, ticks. That's what we should think about, family, when we complain about how inconvenient something is. Like I said, one of these days, I guess I'll become brave enough to just walk off up in there, having on the right gear, of course. Just want to see what lies ahead.